Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from two important newspapers. The first being the Hindu, and the other is the Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day would be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 19th of January. The first topic is proposed amendment for IAS Cadre Rule 1954. We'll see what are the changes that has been brought in by the DOPT and some concern raised by the West Bengal government. Second, India extend credit to Sri Lanka for fuel import. We have seen that economic crisis in Sri Lanka has started, and India, with its all best possible efforts, is trying to help Sri Lanka as our immediate neighbor country. Third, India raised concern over the drone attack. We'll see the detail of this as well. Second last, oil price surges too high. And the last is the Silver Line project is an anti-development project. Some of the concern with regards to environment and other dimension has also been discussed in this editorial. We'll understand everything in detail. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there would be some MCQ based questions. These questions would be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. You can practice this question at your home so that you can build a strong foundation for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And a small announcement regarding the upcoming prelims test series courses. This is for the upcoming prelims that will be conducted in 2022. So the prelims test series is there. You will be getting 60 high quality tests along with the 12-month subscription of the IASGAZETTE magazine. In this particular test series, we'll provide you 38 sectional tests followed by 5 tests with the previous year questions, 7 monthly current affair tests, and 10 full-length tests. So this would be a comprehensive test which is going to start from 28th of January. Do not forget to purchase this course, and this would be something that will be building up your concepts and invariably will be helping you a lot more other dimensions. So do check it out. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में इसके लिंक दे दिए, आप वहां से इस परचेज की ज़्यादा डिटेल्स ले सकते हैं. Now the first news, that is proposed amendment for IAS Cadre Rules 1954. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2 in mains, that is functions and responsibility of union state and issues challenges pertaining to the federal structures. Now we'll see what are the changes or proposed amendment that has been brought in by the Department of Personnel and Training. So DOPT, or you can say the Ministry of Personnel, Public and Grievances and Pensions, they have decided that they're going to amend the IAS Cadre Rule 1954. So this is the existing service rule to ensure कि जो availability है, sufficient number of Indian administrative services should be there as a part of central deputation system. तो जो central deputations में states के officers आते हैं, although IAS is a service which is already Indian administrative service, तो ये सेंट्रल सर्विसेज के लोग हैं जो पैन इंडिया काम कर सकते हैं. स्टेट में एज अ कार्डर उनकी अलॉटमेंट हो जाती है, बट दे कैन आल्सो वर्क विद द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, राइट? फॉर यूनियन गवर्नमेंट टू सर्व द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट दे हैव टू कम टू द सेंट्रल डेपुटेशंस, एंड फॉर दिस डेपुटेशन द एनओसी फ्रॉम द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज एसेंशियल, राइट? तो एक नन ऑब्जेक्शन सर्टिफिकेट्स स्टेट को देनी होती है, स्टेट रिलीज करती है, स्टेट के जो चीफ सेक्रेटरी है, होम सेक्रेटरी है, उनको रिलीज करनी होती है कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी को, देन आईएएस ऑफिसर इज एलिजिबल टू सर्व फॉर द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, राइट? तो ये पूरी प्रोसेस है जिस तरह से ये चीजें काम करती है, राइट? सो एंड दिस इज एट प्रेजेंट, दिस इज अंडर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ 1954. सो द प्रपोजल विच गिव ग्रेटर से टू सेंटर वेयर द स्टेट्स के लिए, चाहे वो ज्वाइंट कार्डर हो, दैट हैज नॉट बीन स्पॉन्सरिंग द इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस एज अ पार्ट ऑफ सेंट्रल डेपुटेशन रिजर्व, राइट? तो बहुत सारे स्टेट्स में, खास करके कुछ ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं लाइक वेस्ट बंगाल, इवन टू द सदर्न स्टेट्स, बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जिन्होंने अपनी डेपुटेशंस में जितने एम्प्लॉइज या जितने आईएएस ऑफिसर को डिप्यूट करनी थी सेंट्रल में, वो नहीं दी, राइट? सो देयर इज अ gap, there is a shortfall in the number of vacancies and the number of position that is there, right? So as a part of central deputation service, even though ministry has flagged the issues several times with this state, but जो sufficient requirement होनी चाहिए सेंट्रल के पास वो नहीं है, एंड सम ऑफ द मिनिस्ट्रीज आर लैकिंग विद द पर्सनल. सो इन दिस रिगार्ड अभी एक अमेंडमेंट आएगी जो ये इंश्योर करेगी कि हर एक स्टेट को मैंडेटरली सेंट्रल डेपुटेशन पे आईएएस ऑफिसर्स को भेजने होंगे. Now, this has resulted or started a criticism from the West Bengal government. So the move have evoked the sharp criticism from the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee, and she has written a letter to the Prime Minister urging that to roll him this proposal, which will affect the state administration. ये भी बहुत एसेंशियल बात है कि एक स्टेट को एडमिनिस्टर करने के लिए सब्सटैंशियल नंबर ऑफ ईदर दिस इज आईएएस ऑफिसर और आईपीएस ऑफिसर, दिस पीपल आर रिक्वायर्ड इन एडिक्वेट नंबर्स, राइट. बट एट द सेम टाइम जो प्रोविजंस रखी गई है सेंट्रल सर्विसेज रूल 1954 में, उसमें भी ये प्रोविजंस हैं कि ये सारी चीजें भी इंप्लीमेंट होनी चाहिए, राइट. सो द सीएम हैज सेड दैट अमेंडमेंट टू द कार्डर रूल व्हिच इज a unilateral mandate जहाँ पे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट टू मेक सच नंबर्स ऑफ द ऑफिसर विच इज अवेलेबल, कितने लोगों को डेप्यूट करनी है, कितने लोगों को जो सेंट्रल डेपुटेशन रिजर्व है, द ऑफिशियल टर्म दैट इज बीइंग यूज्ड इन द गवर्नमेंट इज सेंट्रल डेपुटेशन रिजर्व, राइट. तो इसको आप CDR के नाम से भी जानते होंगे, मोस्ट ऑफ यू हु आर अवेयर. So CDR is a common term that is being used here, right? This is a reserve officers which is being used by the union government for the ministries at the level of secretaries and under secretaries. Now, जो new rule आई है उसके क्या क्या provisions हैं? So the central government has proposed that each state government shall make available for the deputations of the central government such number of the eligible officers at the various level to extend the CDR, that is Central Deputation Reserve. अब ये मैंडेटरी होगी, जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि हर एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को एक रिजर्व प्रपोजल बना करके भेजने होंगे कि वो अपने एंड से, अपने स्टेट से कितने ऑफिसर्स को सेंट्रल डेपुटेशन पे भेजना चाहती है, राइट. And this would be prescribed under the existing regulations adjusted proportionally by the number of officers available to the state concerned, right. And vis-a-vis the total authorized strength for the state cadre as well at the given point of time, right. Every year UPSC conduct the examinations, right, and after the training they send the IAS people or you can say the IAS personnel to the states, right, और state उनको अपने हिसाब से depute करती है, posting देती है, and things work. But at the same length and breadth, these IAS officers are also required by the union government to serve in the ministries. So this particular amendment, this new proposal will help the union government to fill the vacant of the post which is lying in various ministries in the position of secretary, under secretary, जो कि senior level के IAS officer होते हैं और senior time scale के officers होते हैं, right. The people when they joined services they are in the junior time scale. तो mostly senior time scale level 12, level 13 के जो लोग होते हैं they are being selected for the under secretary positions. Now the actual number of officers to be deputed for the central government shall be decided by the central government in consultation with the state government in the new rule proposes. This is what the new rule has to say. So there need to be a synchronization in terms of allocation or allotment that is required by the central government and that has to be given by the state government. तो एक इनके बीच में सिंक्रोनाइजेशन की जरूरत है ताकि स्टेट्स के भी काम चले और यूनियन भी अपनी तरह से काम करे. In case of any disagreement, the matter has to be decided by the central government and the state government, or even you can say the concerned state government will affect the decision to the central government with specific time. So this is a mandatory provision with regards to the state where the central government have more say in terms of deciding. तो final authority आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे central government की होगी. This proposal to change the rule was sent to the chief secretaries of all this state on December 20, 2021. So ये proposal already सारे CS जो भी chief secretaries हैं हर एक states के union territories के उनको already भेज दी गई. They were asked to furnish their comments by January 5, 2022, right? So most probably they would have submitted all their proposals, their concerns, their point, their note of concern that has been there. So सारी चीजें already process में है. Now government has already set up the changes. Let's see whether any other state is opposing or this would be a running positions जहाँ पे ये सारी चीजों को implement की जाएगी. Now there's a central staffing scheme, right? सेंट्रल स्टाफिंग स्कीम क्या है? जो ऑफिसर्स होते हैं डेप्यूटी सेक्रेटरी और डायरेक्टर लेवल के, दे आर यूजली बीइंग अपॉइंटेड इन द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, जिसको कॉमनली हम सेंट्रल डेपुटेशंस कहते हैं. दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सेंट्रल स्टाफिंग स्कीम, राइट. दिस माइट बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द प्रीलिम्स, दे कैन आस्क यू एनी क्वेश्चंस. Every cadre, state and union territories are allowed to depute the reserves, जो रिजर्व फोर्स, यहाँ पे खास करके रिजर्व फोर्सेज नहीं है, जो भी रिजर्व एम्प्लॉइज हैं, इवन यू कैन से द रिजर्व personnel which is there, they need to ensure that the officer are an opportunity to work in deputations including under the central staffing scheme. तो जिस तरह से किसी फोर्सेस के रिजर्व बटालियन बनाई जाती है, यहाँ पे आईएएस ऑफिसर्स की एक रिजर्व पर्सनल की डेटा तैयार की जाती है. देयर इज अ डेटाबेस व्हिच इज बीइंग मेंटेन्ड बाय द सेंटर एंड द स्टेट, एंड इफ द requirement arises, those people who are looking to come to serve for the deputations, they can join the union government, right? आपने देखा होगा सारे ministries में बहुत सारे, even OSD, under secretary and other position which is there, this is already being deputed from any state government and they're serving for the union government, right? So all India services की ये benefit है, आप center में भी काम कर सकते हैं and you can work with the state government also. Now India extend credit to Sri Lanka for fuel import. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, where India and its neighborhood relations is concerned. So India has extended 500 million line of credit, LOC कहते हैं जिसको, to Sri Lanka for urgent fuel import, and just days after providing 900 million relief to the Iceland nation. इससे पहले भी इंडिया ने 900 million की almost relief package भी दी है. And Sri Lanka was facing one of the worst economic crises which we have seen in 2020. Why? We have already discussed this in the DNA. मैंने आपको पहले भी इसमें डिटेल में बताई है. If you not watched that video, do check it out. Mostly this is because of the debt trap that Sri Lanka has taken from China. The investment, the initiative of BRI, which called for a huge investment in Sri Lanka and led to the debt trap which Sri Lanka is facing currently. Now, economic crisis in Sri Lanka. Basically, Sri Lanka has a the tide over the dollar crunch, leading to the shortage of essential services, essential items like fuel, medicines, certain food supplies. Sri Lanka presently is facing the severe forex exchange, और आप कह सकते हैं foreign exchange की जो shortage है वो काफी ज़्यादा है. This has led the country losing their values and import becoming more costly in this country. तो यहाँ के जो बेसिक्स इकोनॉमिकल कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं दैट बिकम इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड यूपीएससी माइट आस्क यू क्वेश्चन इन द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन, राइट? व्हाट इज द कंडीशन व्हेन फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व आर शॉर्ट, तो उसके क्या क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज हैं इकोनॉमी में, इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट पे क्या फर्क पड़ती है. इस तरह के जो बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं वो आप इन्फ्लेशन और फॉरेन रिजर्व के जो चैप्टर्स हैं आपके बेसिक स्टैटिक इकोनॉमी में वो जरूर देख लें. Now the country is grappling with the shortage of almost all essential items, including the fuel. And meanwhile, your state fuel hai, that has entity that has stopped the supplying the electricity board, which has not paid the amount, right? And the only refinery was recently shut, was unable to pay dollars for the crude oil import. So this is a situation, the ground reality of Sri Lanka is not good. They have already started an economic crisis. Possibly things get worse if any country like India and many other countries if not support, तो प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ सकती है श्रीलंका की. इंडिया ने असिस्टेंस दी है. लास्ट वीक ओनली इंडियन गवर्नमेंट हैज अनाउंस्ड $1 billion असिस्टेंस पैकेज, and this is another balance of payment support that India basically has given to Sri Lanka. The $1 billion loan credit is being used for avert the food crisis. Basically, जो वहाँ की crisis है, food crisis is something which is a more call for humanitarian approach, right? तो यहाँ पे ये कोशिश की गई है कि जो फूड आइटम्स हैं वो दिए जाएं, और मेडिसिन भी इंडिया ने अपनी तरफ से खास करके जो ज़रूरत के मेडिसिन है वो भी दी, एंड इवन द वैक्सीन फॉर COVID-19 वाज ऑलरेडी प्रोवाइडेड फ्रॉम इंडिया टू श्रीलंका. These measures are in line with the India's commitment to contribute to Sri Lanka economic growth and impart greater momentum to bilateral economic and commercial partnership, right? We know that the vacuum which was created by India in Sri Lanka has already been filled by China. तो चाइना ने कोशिश की है कि वो श्रीलंका में अपनी इतनी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दे कि श्रीलंका कहीं ना कहीं इंक्लाइंड हो हमेशा चाइना को फेवर करने के लिए. सो दिस इज अनदर जियोपॉलिटिक्स दैट चाइना इज प्लेइंग. वी आर नॉट गेटिंग इनटू दैट डिटेल, बट फॉर यू इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इफ Sri Lanka is getting into debt trap, we as a immediate neighbor would definitely have a repercussion, not to the larger extent, but kahin na kahin India ke liye concern hai. Now, India raised concern over the drone attack. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries, right? So recently, what has happened in Abu Dhabi, there was a terror attack which India has condemned to a larger extent, and India said that this is unacceptable with regards to the UAE incident that took place. इसमें 2 इंडियन की जान चली गई थी. 2 इंडियन have lost their life. and they have injured also. Some of the people were also in the, these people were working with Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, जहाँ पे storage facility थी, right? And the embassy is working to bring bodies of two Indian who were killed in the explosive in the UAE oil firm. Now, both India and UAE have expressed a strong condemnations जहाँ पे ये जो टेररिस्ट अटैक हुई है, a group called Houthi militia, इन्होंने इसकी जिम्मेवारी ली. They have taken the responsibility, yes, that this particular attack in the UAE, that is Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, was done by this militant or terrorist group. Now, how is the economic relationship between India and UAE? If it terms this particular relation, UAE is currently India's third largest trading partner with bilateral trade. ये 1920 की data, which the present value amounts to around 59 billion USD dollars. And UAE is India's second largest export destinations. Export की अगर बात करें, और export की जो value है, that is approximately 29 billion dollar. This is for 19 and 20. मेजर एक्सपोर्ट्स आइटम की अगर बात करें, कौन कौन सी ऐसे आइटम्स है जो इंडिया से वहाँ एक्सपोर्ट होती हैं, द अदर इज लाइक पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स, प्रीशियस मेटल, स्टोन, gems, jewelry and mineral. And what is being imported? So petroleum products, petroleum produce, precious metals, stone, gems, jewelry and minerals, right? So these are some of the major important export items. Oil prices surge to high. Basically the prices seen increase. What is the reason for this increase? We'll understand that. And this is in the past 7 years that we're seeing the price hike globally. China Studies Paper 2, Bilateral Regional Grouping and Agreements. Now, recently, the oil prices has surpassed the highest level since 2014 in the wake of deadly oil tanker that got attacked in the Middle East. और ये स्टॉक्ड सप्लाई के लिए काफ़ी कंसर्न है, जहाँ पे ग्लोबल मार्केट में इसकी डिमांड काफ़ी हाई है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस द प्राइस हैज सर्ज, एंड डिस्पाइट द ऑनगोइंग COVID-19 pandemic, the things is also not working very correctly, right? Brent crude की अगर बात करें, Brent crude is another international benchmark जहाँ पे चीज़ों को रेट की जाती है. तो ब्रेंट क्रूड की अगर रेट बताएं तो इट हैज़ इंक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 1 to 1.9%, एंड प्रेजेंटली इट इज अराउंड $88.13, right? Highest since October 2014. Now there is another basically international benchmark which is West Texas. मैं दोनों के डिफरेंस आपको बताऊंगा आगे. West Texas is an intermediate crude oil which is at 2.3% to 85.7%, the strongest price since 2014. So this is a price difference, the price hike which we can see in the past 7 years. Now, what is the difference between WTI and Brent crude oil के जो parameters हैं? So, first and foremost, both दोनों जो हैं वो light fuel refinement use की जाती है, and majority of oil price impacts to either WTI or Brent, right? तो यहाँ पे जो extractions है WTI की, that is from oil field in USA. And if you talk about Brent, this is from the oil field of North Sea. Now, primarily extracted in Louisiana, North Dakota, and Texas, and this is extracted from Brent, Fortis, Osberg, Ectofish oil field. Okay, this is considered to be very light. As I've told you, these two are lighter. API gravity की बात करें 39.6 और 38%. Sulfur content इसमें कम होती है WTI में, और Brent में sulfur content almost 40 होती है. For many other competitive examination, they can ask you sulfur content के बारे में भी पूछ सकते हैं. Landlocked transparent ownership है यहाँ पे. Waterborne, that is better for transportation, right? So this is a major difference between WTI and Brent. You can take the screenshot of this particular sample, which will help you to revise the concepts. Now, reason for price surge की अगर बात करें, the move have extended the grain recently attack, जहाँ पे अबू धाबी के जो रीजन में अटैक हुई, जिसकी वजह से काफ़ी ज़्यादा लॉस हुई, एंड द टैंकर नियर द स्टेट ऑयल फर्म इन द अबू धाबी नेशनल ऑयल कंपनी वाज डैमेज्ड, एंड द ऑयल प्राइस कंटिन्यू टू इंक्रीज एज ADNOC, that is Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, working to ensure the reliable, uninterrupted supply of products to local and international customers. Now, the organizations of petroleum exporting country, this is also known as OPEC. OPEC countries have left this to 2020 outlook, जहाँ पे इन्होंने कहा है कि जो वर्ल्ड की डिमांड है वो बढ़ी है 4.2 बैरल अ डे. फर्दर लॉकडाउन की वजह से, राइजिंग हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की वजह से भी, एंड इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग द वर्क फुट प्रोजेक्शन फॉर द इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ टू द मेन रोबोस्ट. और it has also been argued that the supply chain की जो bottleneck है that is ongoing in this trade because some of the factor is still uncertain. The man force, the workforce which should be there substantially is not there, and because of the pandemic definitely the sector has impacted. Meanwhile, your Goldman Sachs, this is a particular bank which has said that Brent price could surpass $100 barrel this year, right? So अभी anticipations ये हैं 88 के आसपास ये बढ़ करके $100 तक जा सकती है. So if this price increase, definitely Indian market would also be impacted. Already India में prices काफी high हैं जिसको लेके protest भी हुई. But let's see how government is tackling, because in India there's an election season, and for elections the price of the petroleum products is mostly being deteriorated और उसको decrease की जाती है ताकि एक polling stunt या फिर political stunts के तौर पे भी इनको देखी जाती है. So we'll discuss that on the other part of the video. For this particular video, we are more concerned about the global price. Now, analysts said that oil prices were also being supported by the colder winter temperature, जहाँ पे northern hemisphere में they were driving up the demand for the heat fuels, and the tight supply demand is balanced to likely to ease. Right? Now, moving ahead, Silver Line project is an anti-development. This particular editorial has been reported in Indian Express, written by Balakrishnan. He is a professor at Asoka University. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it. So what I'm going to discuss under this editorial, there would be 4 important subheads. The first being what is Silver Line project, the concerned voice, the expert opinion. The third is need for project, and the last is issues with the project, the concern with the project, right? And the entire editorial talks in the theme of the Silver Line project and its environmental concern. So let's understand this editorial in detail. बात करें केरला गवर्नमेंट की, इन्होंने रिसेंटली एक नई प्रोजेक्ट को फाइनलाइज किया. दे हैव बीन ट्राइंग टू एक्वायर द लैंड फॉर सिल्वर लाइन प्रोजेक्ट. दिस इज अ रेल प्रोजेक्ट which would be helping to establish semi high speed rail project in the region. मैंने आपको एक पहले वीडियो में इसके मैप भी शो किए थे, आप वो मैप देख सकते हैं किस तरह से जा रही है. ऑलरेडी आई हैव शेयर्ड दैट. आई एम नॉट शेयरिंग दिस इन दिस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो. What is Silver Line project? The Silver Line project built up a semi high speed railway corridors. खास करके जो स्टेट की कैपिटल है वहाँ से तिरुवनंतपुरम से लेकर के नॉर्थ एंड जो होगी कासरगोड तक, वहाँ तक ये जाएंगी. And this line is proposed to be around 529.45 kilometers, which will cover almost 11 districts and will have 11 stations. What is the advantage? अगर बात करें इस प्रोजेक्ट की, जहाँ पे एक तरफ से कासरगोड से लेकर के तिरुवनंतपुरम जाने में अब 4 घंटे लगेंगे. अर्लियर it was taking almost 12 hours, right? Earlier it was a 12-hour travel. Now it will only take 4 kilometers, and the travel time would be basically 200 kilometers, right? So the travel hour would be 4 hours and kilometers would be 200 kilometers. So the project is executed by the Kerala Rail Development Authority Limited. It's a joint venture between Kerala government and Union Ministry of Railway, right? So this is again a factually important point. Now some concerned voice that has been raised. So E. Sridharan, most of you must be aware, he is called the Metro Man, the man behind the Delhi Metro. So he is the most famous railway engineer. उन्होंने describe किया है कि ये एक ऐसी project है which will invite for the environmental disaster, right? If you're writing in mains paper, आप बिल्कुल इनको quote कर सकते हैं कि E. Sridharan ने ऐसी बातें कही हैं. There's no doubt, right? आप आराम से लिख सकते हैं ऐसी बातों को. And he said that there would be flooding because of this project. And he also said that he expressed that the government has not yet made public जो DPR होती है किसी भी एक government project के लिए, there is a DPR which is being there. So DPR stand for detailed project report, कि उस project की executions कैसे होनी है, auctions कैसे होंगी, plan of purchase कैसी होगी, किस तरह से procurement की जाएगी, everything is being there in the DPR. तो वो अभी भी public नहीं की गई है, जिसके वजह से और concerns raise किए जा रहे हैं. Even Professor Gadgil, who has given Gadgil formula, is an eminent ecologist. He said that the Silver Line is being the interest for the people of the state and ground for the ecological damage is likely to cause. So economic development के लेकर के जो environmental consequences है वो inevitable है इस context में. This is something which is very important. तो ethical dilemma भी आती है और इससे आपके general studies के paper 4 के जो ethics के case study के questions हैं वहाँ पे सवाल बनते हैं. Now need for project. So this is long argued that the urban policy expert, where railway infrastructure of the state cannot meet the demand for future. Right? This is first. Second, the government has claimed कि जो सिल्वर लाइन प्रोजेक्ट है इज अ नीड ऑफ द आवर और बहुत ही सिग्निफिकेंट जो ट्रैफिक होगी उसमें कमी आएगी जो एग्जिस्टिंग रेलवेज पे काफ़ी अधिक है. This will in turn reduce the congestions in the road and will help in reducing the accident and fatalities. But environmental concern is also one of the point that has to be looked upon. Now, issues with the project, क्या issues हैं? The first and foremost is जो unofficial deadline रखी गई है इस project के लिए, that is 2025. But many of would say this is on a realistic target because it is a long project जहाँ पे 11 स्टेशन और 11 बेसिकली डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स को कवर करनी है. सो दिस वुड डेफिनेटली टेक टाइम एंड एक्वायरिंग लैंड स्पेशली फॉर द प्राइवेट प्लेस इन द अर्बन एरियाज remain a key challenge. The other issues is with the significant positions of the project by the environmentalist और ये प्रोजेक्ट डैमेज को लेकर के जो स्टेट की इकोलॉजिकल पाथवे है जो प्रपोज रूट्स हैं उनके अकॉर्डिंगली चलना भी काफ़ी टफ हो. The fear of irreversible impact of the state river, paddy fields, wetlands, trigger floods and landslide in future. So these are some of the environmental repercussion that we can face with this particular project known as Silver Line project in Kerala. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is D. Today's MCQ for your practice, you have to practice this at your home. The first question is regarding the O Smart. आपको बताना है कौन से correct options हैं. It aims to regulate the use of ocean, marine resources, sustainable development, strategic partnership with IEA to promote transparency in jute sector, liquidity risk monitoring tool for the stock market. The other question for practice is International Energy Agency. Consider the following statement. The World Energy Economic Outlook is being released by IEA annually. And India is not an associate member of IE, right? So check और भी कौन से इस तरह के रिपोर्ट पब्लिश होती है ये आपके एग्जाम के लिए रेलेवेंट होंगी. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.